Hey guys, what's going on? Hope your day is going amazing as always. Mine's going great. So today, we're gonna be talking about the differences between a inpatient, outpatient, and then a long-term inpatient. And so, basically, an inpatient would be something like a psych ward or some sort of housing where you are in a locked place with people monitoring you 24/7. So what I was in, my first one was a inpatient on a base in Virginia called Fort Belvoir, and so basically what that one was that it was a very tight schedule, and it was run by the doctors who were specialized in psychology and just mental health behavior, and so what a normal day looked like for both for the first inpatient looked like was first we wake up around like 8 or 7:30. Then we would get dressed. Grab we had these trays where you had to go to a certain window to pick up your stuff because you weren't allowed anything but books and your I believe it was clothes and then your personal items. But anything sharp or something that could be used as a weapon was not allowed in your room. And so we had to go to the window, collect our things. Then we would go back to our room, and then we would someone stand outside our bathroom while we got ready. And so basically, the room was just like this very solid, kind of dull looking thing, with a bed, toilet, shower, sink, all the necessary things. After that, we put all of our stuff back, and then we would go get breakfast, and it would be the breakfast was really really good. For whatever reason, I loved the breakfast. But we would grab the breakfast. They would come down with the food. We would eat at our lounge area, and so then basically we'd talk for however long, and then after that it was free time, and then I think it was about 2 hours of that, or 2 or 3 hours of that, and then we would have a group therapy where we would have everybody, and then they bring in like a therapist. They would bring in therapy dogs, which was one of my favorite parts. And so then after that, it would be either individual therapy or you would go see the doctor for meds or checkup or something like that. After that was more free time. And then on certain days, there would be time scheduled for your parents to come see you, friend or close family members or something like that. And so then after that, it was going to be dinner and then cleanup time. And then we would get ready for bed. And then after that, anyone that took medicine or had to do some sort of like thing before they go to bed had to do that right before bed, and then they would turn off the lights and then we go to sleep, and then we would repeat that for however long. And then the second inpatient was very similar. Most of the time it was we actually got to go outside because they had a little outside area, but in the first one there was no going outside. It was in a loft building. We were inside for weeks and weeks, and so that's what the schedule looked like. And then a outpatient is different from inpatient. So basically, it's the same thing apart from you don't sleep or eat or live there. You go to a certain place in the hospital. It was usually right outside the park garage, and from my experience, and then you would go and go see your therapist or go see someone to talk about whatever's going wrong, and then you would have group time with other people that was in outpatient, and so basically you would do that for however long the doctor said you had to do that. So once that was done, you were basically completed with that unless you had further issues. And so it basically goes like residential, inpatient, and then outpatient. And so outpatient's the one that you want to be in once you're done with all that. And so then residential is more of a housing stay where there'd be the one I went to. There's multiple buildings. They separate the boys and girls in different ages, but it was basically a locked room or a locked like building, and then they had the school, they had the cafeteria, they had the gym. So basically, it was like this big boarding school, except you weren't allowed to go there. But the one I went to was super nice, and I was lucky enough not there was not to be any gates, so you could walk off campus, but you'd get caught. But we were allowed to walk outside. We were allowed to go play outside, get food. We had school. We had PE time. It was a very chill and relaxed schedule, but you still had to do your treatment to get therapy and stuff. And so what I learned from all of those experiences is that I'm very grateful and lucky to not have to do that all over again. And so I'm so thankful for everybody that stayed with me and helped me get through all that. Because in reality, it's not fun having to wear grippy socks or yellow socks, which are basically just socks with grippy. Because we weren't, there was no, you had barely any freedom with what the kinds of stuff you can have. Because a lot of stuff that you use, like metal forks, you had to use plastic forks and knives and utensils. There was like you couldn't grab a snack whenever you wanted. You couldn't have certain stuff in your bedroom. There's certain times to use electronics. There's no phones. No phones whatsoever. They had phones to call your parents that they would give you, but there was just a lot of stuff that I missed from being in there. And then when I got out, I was like so thankful that I was able to do it again, because once you realize that you can't do something or use something, once it's gone, is when you start to appreciate it or miss it, and be thankful for it. So, the moral of the story from what I learned from there was be thankful for what stuff you can do, and not dread on stuff that you can't do or use. And so that's about it. But sometime in the next video, whenever that comes out, we are going to be reading a couple journal entries from that from my time in a residential, and there's gonna be certain parts I don't say or certain parts that I just completely skip over. It's just gonna be giving you the gist of what someone that's been through all that is thinking, and from my point of view, which I think not a lot of people like to share, but I feel like I can trust myself enough to share what's right and not to get upset or feel hurt. And I think I'm mature enough to share that with all you guys, and I'm so thankful that I get to do that. And so I hope y'all enjoy all the videos. The last two ones, y'all been doing great. I'm so thankful for everybody that's been super supportive, and I hope y'all keep that up. And I will keep up doing all this for y'all, and stay posted for the next video. I hope you have an amazing day. God bless y'all. See y'all later. Peace.